This is That Video Game Podcast, episode 545 for April 2nd, 2018. RT, if you hate this junction.
You'll know it when you see it.
Welcome back to another episode of That Video Game Podcast. I'm your host, Boston. Join me, as always, is Moonpier.
Hello there.
I think we don't have any business here at the beginning, so let's just dive right into what you've been playing.
One touch of business, really quick.
Oh.
Next week, obviously we have Pub coming next week, so everybody tune into Pub.
Yes.
And also, me and Jess will probably be recording episode 2 of Old Dog New Flicks. So
right.
Listen to that first episode, get your feedback in. I'll just say the hashtag here, TVGPODNF. Use that hashtag on Twitter, please. All feedback is welcome. I have quite a tirade from Mr. Big Mackey waiting for me to be read.
Yeah.
So that's going to be fun. But yeah, episode 2, hopefully we'll be recording next week. So get your feedback, get your comments in, join in the discussion. We want it. Bring it on. Talk to me. Talk to us.
Yeah.
Help
yeah,
us.
if you haven't listened to the show yet, it's right now $5 early access for patrons, patreon.com/E1M1.
Mm-hmm.
Also, the other piece of news is it's April Fool's today when we're recording. We're not doing any of that.
Nope. I'm too old for that stuff.
Don't worry. All right, but let's dive into what you've been playing.
Okay, start out with... I might as well just get it out the way first and foremost. Let's talk about NeoGeo games, shall we?
Our favorite ACA NeoGeo titles.
Yes, 2 this week, Fatal Fury 2 and Fatal Fury 3. If you ever want a really surprisingly fun experience, play in the course of 3 weeks Fatal Fury 2, and then Fatal Fury 3. Mm-hmm. Just because they're all available on the same platform these days, you will see the progression of fighting games, and it is so astounding, the difference.
Yeah.
It's really weird. Like, I don't know what the year difference between them is, but it's kind of cool to be like, I'm going to play Street Fighter 1, then 2, then Turbo, then Championship, then everything else.
Right.
It's like, oh, these games do evolve, and they evolve quite a lot, surprisingly.
Yeah. You just never really saw it back to back.
Exactly, and especially seeing the pixel art and everything on the Neo Geo like evolve over that time as well. Like, that's such a nice feat. Like, nice to be able to go and look. I mean, like, Fatal Fury is really well designed. Don't get me wrong, It's no tank
Streets
game.
of Rage.
No, the tank game with the best pixel art ever. I can't remember its name. Metal Slug. It's no Metal Slug, but it looks great. And then you play 2, it's like, okay, there's like 20 more frames of animation for every single thing these guys do.
Right.
And then you play 3, and it's like, oh, okay, now it looks better and it runs better. It's like,
yeah, they like really mastered the hardware at that point.
Oh yeah, and it's really cool to just be able to play in quick succession, especially games like this where for me at least, it's a small time investment. Get what I need, get out, that kind of thing. It's really good to just be able to go in and go, I can see what they've evolved on, what they've changed, and like even something as simple as how the AI evolves to where, okay, now I can't just do the old Ryu, like jump in, high kick, low sweep, jump in, high kick, low sweep. Now they're defending that after you've done it twice. So
they've gotten smarter.
Exactly. Fatal Fury 2 and 3, like I said, they're Neo Geo games. I'm just trying to get games off my Xbox. We talked about this. We talked about this, I think, in Isaac.
Play them, delete them.
I've got like 300 installed at this point, and they need to get gone sooner rather than later.
Now 297 though.
Yes, I think it is actually literally at 297 right now.
Got it.
It doesn't help that I signed up for Xbox Game Pass, so I've got another 100 and change waiting for me. Yay! I played an absolute ton of Burnout Paradise Remastered this week.
Oh yeah.
Which, that game feels so good. And it's a really hard thing to describe when you're talking about feeling a video game. Like, if it clicks with you, if you haven't played Burnout Paradise before, it's probably a good time to jump in, considering this is literally everything for the game.
I feel like The thing I thought when you were talking about how the game feels perfect is I could only imagine how amazing it felt developing that game, where you're playing the prototypes and you're basically driving a box car around a gray polygonal city block. There's really no game there.
Yeah.
But I bet the moment you played that one build and it just worked right, you're like, okay, now we have a game. Like now you can sort of see where the meat of this game starts coming in. And you're like, okay, now we're on to something. I bet that moment felt really cool.
Yeah, and it's really hard to describe that game. Like when it comes to, okay, yeah, it's an open world, it's an arcade racing game. You'll know if you like it or you don't. I actually, speaking of Mr. Gersman on the pre-show, actually tried to watch a Giant Bomb video this week from like 2 years ago, and he played the PC version of the OG Paradise.
Right. And
seeing him play that, I was thinking, he's handbrake turning around these dead L-shaped turns. I don't do that. Why don't I do that? I tried it, and hey, guess what? It works. It actually helps way more than I thought it would. Yeah. Because I'm used to trying to start my drift like 20 yards before the corner, and then sideways around the corner while my nose touches the building. Right. I'm turning around, and 90% of the time I crash. Well, maybe not 90, more like 40%, but it can be a pain in the backside when you are trying to get like a burning route done, and it's like, oh, I keep clipping this exact same section. Why don't I just handbrake turn around it? And I started doing it, and it's actually helped me so much just handbraking around certain corners.
Yeah.
It did tickle me though, because there is one specific junction in that game where you come around a corner, there's a burnout sign directly in front of you, so it's like you've got to hit a ramp to smash through it, and then there's a right turn, but there's a tunnel under this bridge to make the right turn. You've got to go past the tunnel, over the bridge, and then up this mountain. Every time I hit that junction, and anybody like who's got experience with Burnout Paradise will know exactly what junction I'm talking about, because every time it does the whole thing where the right hand street sign pops in and starts flashing. It's like, okay, I need to take a right. I always take a right too early, and then end up going either under the road I need to go over, or I hit the ramp and then crash, or I hit the corner and crash because I get torn and stuck in the middle. Every time.
Done it like 40 times.
Probably like 130 at this point.
Yeah.
It's literally every time I hit that junction. And it made me laugh because while I was watching Jeff Gersman, he did the exact same thing. And this guy knows Burnout. The only other thing I need to confirm if that junction is bad is I need to take a screenshot of it and send it to Mackie. Because if he does it too, then I know it's not me, it's the game.
Just post it on Twitter and say, RT if you hate this junction.
Yes, exactly. I'm probably going to end up doing that today, probably. Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. How did Mackie get every single sign and every single road and every single like smash and parking lot in like a week?
Yeah, I saw that tweet he posted, and that is an incredible, innate, like burned in knowledge of a game.
I legitimately don't know how he did it, but
yeah,
full credit to the young man.
Yeah. We were talking before in the pre-show about really squeezing every last penny out of a game, and I feel like Burnout Paradise has so much content in it that if you go for 100%, and you manage to get it in that game, you have squeezed so much money out of a $40 title.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's one of those games, especially now with $40. It's knock yourself out. Take the 100 and something hours it's probably going to take here. I mean, I did the math yesterday, I think it was. 506 hours in Isaac, dude.
Wow.
506.
That's so much.
That's ridiculous.
I'm glad the PS4 doesn't keep track of the time I've played Isaac, because it would... A generous estimate, it's probably 4 times that.
My wife is obsessed with Siege. She's only beating me by like a day in Siege.
Wow.
And that's a multiplayer game that she plays with her friends consistently.
Right. Isaac is just a game you quietly rage at by yourself.
Exactly. But yeah, I'm expecting to do the same thing with Burnout Paradise, and I haven't looked at the achievements yet for it, but I'm assuming all of the old achievements are in there, which means I will have to do the 8-player challenges, the 7-player challenges, the 6-player challenges, the 5-player challenges.
I think they got rid of most of those. I think the only achievement for challenges, don't quote me on this, I think is like you just have to do 50 of them.
I hope so.
Overall, because I think, I'm sure the feedback to that on the original one was, hey guys, there's 500 of these, and I don't want to do all of them.
You do know you're talking about EA.
Yeah, but EA published. I feel like Criterion maybe has a heart.
Criterion doesn't exist anymore.
That's true. I forgot about that. Burns.
Criterion's dust in the wind at this point. You think
Criterion still has a heart in my heart.
They will forever have a heart in everybody's heart because it's Criterion. Yeah. But no, Burnout Paradise is great. If you want to play it, let me know if I have the time, which is rare. But if I have the time, I will gladly smash through some cars with people.
Yeah.
But I have one more game to talk about.
Okay.
One final game to talk about. And I feel like this is a really good game because it transitions nicely to you.
Okay.
Firstly, thank you, Senior Monkey, a community member who sent me a Steam code for Ni no Kuni 2.
Hey!
And let's just say that this is probably one of the most beautiful games I've ever played in my life.
It is astounding looking.
As soon as I started playing it, the only thing I could think of was, this is blowing my mind the way Eternal Sonata did.
Yeah, like Ni no Kuni 2. I'm laughing because I'm hearing the music from the main menu. From that first moment, you're just like, "Ooh, this is okay. This is great." And that opening like rocket attack is sort of like this game looks stupid good. What have you wizards done?
And then you get to the world map, which, for the record, by the way, folks, for the record, I'm at the mountain with the Sky Pirates. This is my progress so far. I've met the Sky Pirates. I have to go rescue the daughter, who I'm assuming is going to be a party member at some point.
You are correct.
As soon as she appeared, I was like, there's a future party member.
All of your party members are so funny because as soon as you run into them, it's like, she's going to be in my party. Cool. And like, it's for some of the later ones even, they join your party temporarily, and it's like, come on, just, you want to adventure with me. This is going to be a permanent thing. Let's just lock it down.
Yep. I started playing this game, and remember how we were talking about this might be a game that Jess might be able to play?
Mm-hmm.
No.
Is it too happy, cartoony?
It's too JRPG.
Yeah.
She's not a character action game person as well, so I was thinking maybe the lack of turn-based combat would be the thing, but the only character action game that I've seen her play is Tomb Raider. I think that's more.
Yeah, so it's like too hack and slashy.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
But credit where it's due, she did turn around and say, wow, that game looks amazing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I got to the world map, and as soon as I got to the world map, I immediately wrote a note, which is, I wrote, looks amazing the second I started playing it, and love the world map. The fact that there's little chibi versions of your party running around on it is stupidly cute.
Those party members run around your kingdom too.
Oh, it's so cool.
It's just, it's so good.
It's like,
And you never played the first one on PS3, right?
I did not play the first one at all, no.
Okay.
I don't understand what Black Magic they've done to have that art style on literally everything. Like, some minor complaints about the game. I'm not a big fan of the camera. Like, it's not a little
great.
too tight in.
And it's like, when you're spinning it around, it moves a little too fast. Like, it's too touchy. I can never get it right, even messing in the settings.
Yeah. But when the game starts and you're doing the spiral staircase downwards...
Yeah.
I wasn't looking at anything except for the wall, thinking, that wall is beautiful.
That's a great texture.
It's not the repeating texture, so it's not the same thing, just copy-pasted hundreds of times. Like, how did they do this? Like, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
And like I said, like, the combat is okay. It does, like, your criticism last week was it seems to be a bit easy. The only thing that's killed me is the stealth section at the very beginning of the game, which is so dumb to put a stealth section at the beginning of your game.
Thankfully, the only one.
I was hoping that might be the case, but that's when it comes to bad decisions in game design, that right there feels like a bad decision. Just
how do you feel about all of these British characters? It's very much the same as the first one. We're like, oh, everybody's British in this. Okay.
I'm really torn because some of them are amazing and some of them are terrible at the same time.
Yeah.
I met Granny, Auntie Agnes. I can't remember.
It starts with an M, I think.
Yeah, I met her. She was kind of cool. Roland, I'm not sure about his voice as of yet.
I like that he's very much like, hi, I'm an American guy.
But that's the weird thing, though, because he's, hi, I'm an American guy, but with a very distinct anime Japanese kind of look to him.
Right.
And clearly when he's driving, the presidency seal on his car is very much a knockoff of the American one as well.
Yeah, I like how they're very much like, they call it like, he's president of the Union, but it's very much like, wink.
Yeah. That's like saying, this is an American guy, but don't quote us on that kind of thing.
Yeah.
I met I can't even remember the names now, the Wibblewobbles. I'm just going to call them that.
Oh, the Higgledies?
There you go.
Oh, I love those guys.
I met them. I've got 3, I think, at this point. 2 greens.
Let me give you a pro tip about the Higgledies. Don't bother with any of the other ones except for like the first 4 you get, unless you really like the look of them.
Okay.
I think that's the one downside. So I've finished the game. Spoilers for my portion of this. I used the first 4 for the entire game because their only job really is to heal you.
Yeah, and they level up as well, don't they?
Yeah, once you get the kingdom, you can feed them items to level them up.
Of course.
That just has them do a little bit more stuff, but it's never really... I switched some stuff around after I beat the game, because thankfully, no spoilers, after you finish the game, you create a clear save. When you load that up again, it just turns you loose back in the world, and there's a whole bunch of stuff that gets added to the world after you finish it, and it just starts you from before the final boss fight.
Yeah.
And I switched out a bunch of other ones in the game just so I have 4 healing ones for some of the post-game stuff. But even that doesn't really matter.
Yeah. Mina in chat mentions the fire cannon one.
I love that one.
He's the first one you get. I kept that one around. He's like the grey one with the red bandana. And it's like they're so dumb and so cute and so ridiculous. And it's just, this game is... It's that Blue Sky game. Like, it's the Viva Pinata. It's the Eternal Sonata. Like, don't get me wrong, Eternal Sonata, like, at its core, is very, very dark. It's a very deep and dark story.
Here, let me tell you a story while I die.
Yeah. But look at how it's drawn and how it's cast and how everything else with Eternal Sonata it's a Blue Sky game with the really dark story underneath it.
Yeah.
Viva Pinata could be the same. That's a Blue Sky game where you beat people and beat these little pinatas and feed them to other ones.
Right.
But still a Blue Sky game. But no, like, this... It's sticking with me, but it's my main thing with Ni no Kuni right now is I'm looking at it and thinking, this is probably a 40-hour game.
I finished it in less than 30.
Okay, that's not too bad, because I'm currently playing, like, several, like, 150-hour games.
Oh, yeah, no, it's not even... So, I finished it in less than 30, and that was probably with me going through and doing a lot of the side quests while I did it, because a lot of them are pretty fun, I think.
Yeah.
And you can probably blow through it faster than that, because it is pretty easy. The final boss is level 72, but I beat it at like 55 and had no real problems.
Okay. Because, like I said, that's the thing I've noticed so far is the combat seems to be very easy.
Yep.
It seems to be an experience game, for lack of a better way to phrase it. It's come in and experience this game and take from it what you want to do. I've never played any of the Yakuza games. I really want to, because they seem like a similar kind of thing where it's like, this is there to be experienced.
Yeah.
Not
very
Isaac
much so.
or Dark Souls, where this is there to be defeated. This
like
this
this more mechanics focused.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm loving the game so far. Like I said, the game is... I can't describe how great that game looks. Like, I hadn't seen screenshots, I hadn't seen video, I hadn't seen nothing to do with the game before I started playing it. And then you start playing, it's like, okay, so this intro cutscene is a really well rendered 3D anime.
Yeah.
And then you start playing the game, it's like, no, this is a really well rendered 3D anime in gameplay as well.
Yep.
And then you see the world map and the art style and the little tiny touches they do, like the wind flowing, doing the little white line thing. It's like, yeah, I think this... Hey, Giant Bomb, I got a winner for your best style category this year.
Yeah.
It's this. Like,
yeah, they very much tried this style with the first Ni no Kuni, but I feel like it looked really good and animated okay, but like the environments were way smaller in the first one, and you could tell they were pretty hampered by the limitations of the hardware. Not that the PS3 was a bad platform, it's just it wasn't as powerful as something like the PS4 or a PC.
yeah.
And I feel like this to me feels like the realization of what they were trying to do with the first game. Just they got rid of all the chaff. They got rid of all the BS that was holding him back.
Well, honestly, I'm also hoping that like them having the Studio Ghibli link in the first game raised the awareness enough for the series to now not have that link, so they don't have to pay X amount of dollars to Studio Ghibli for all of that stuff.
Right.
That I'm hoping this works out for them, because if the awareness is high enough that enough people get this, then hopefully it should help them continue to do this kind of stuff, because this game is mind-blowing. I mean, like I said, gameplay-wise, so far for me, it's nothing special, but I haven't even built my kingdom yet, which is where the hotness really starts for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, that reaction right there perfectly sums up how I feel. Like, I just want to get to build the kingdom. Let me go out and recruit people.
I have my kingdom fully maxed out now, and it was a problem. Like, it's so good. It's as good as you expect it to be.
That's me. Like, again, achievement hunter. I like collecting things. I like seeing numbers count up, so much so that when I was playing Forza Horizon, I specifically sent an image to Boston of him being 3 away from a completed collection and complained to him about it.
Just do it!
Like, this is me. Like, that's my style. Is I don't care how hard it is. I don't care about any of this stuff. If you give me those meters to fill and that end objective of here's something you can max out at some point, I want to do it. So I kind of can't wait to get to that point.
Well, and you're actually pretty close to it, because it starts in chapter 4. I think the thing that I really liked about the kingdom building is every goal that you set for yourself was really clearly communicated. Like, you can go into your weapons shop and it says, all right, to develop level 3 weapons in your shop, you need to have this person knows this skill and this person knows this skill. The game will tell you what people, when you go look at what personnel you want to have assigned to a building, it will tell you which people are naturally inclinated to do this sort of job. You can have like a little star next to it and say suited. So it's like, you know what your own goals are, and the game is really going to help you very clearly say, these are the people for this building to do this thing, and all of this stuff is going to be super clear. So you don't have to keep an Excel spreadsheet of like, well, this person's good at this thing and bad at this thing. None of that stuff. Thankfully, it's so clear about trying to help you just have fun with this mode, and especially because there's a ton of content in there.
This is Peace Walker all over again. I'm in so much trouble. Yeah,
but like a lot clearer about how and why you want to do some of that stuff.
Yeah. I'm in so much trouble. But yes, that's pretty much all I've been playing. Like I said, I'm only up to the Sky Pirates location.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming you would like to continue on Ni no Kuni.
Yeah, so I finished Ni no Kuni, and I'm now on the Platinum Trophy March. want to give 3 tips for anyone that's going for completion in this game that you want to do as early as possible.
Don't buy stuff is tip number 1.
Actually, tip number 1 is nothing is missable. So
I love that kind of thing.
Don't worry about any of that stuff. Tip number 2 is don't buy anything. You don't need to buy anything at all in this game. So you can get up to 500,000 guilders. I'll just call it gold because guilders is confusing with the currency that you have in your kingdom, which is king's guilders.
Oh, of course.
Yeah. Tip number 3 is the RTS system in the game, skirmishes. There is a trophy/achievement for beating 50 individual skirmishes.
Okay.
My tip to you is when you go in your main menu and you look at the vital statistics item, it will show you how many you've cleared. Don't clear any hard mode ones and don't replay any, because it's a real pain in the butt to find which ones you're missing if you've replayed ones, because then it'll say, like, at the point, I don't think I've replayed any, so I'm sort of on the march to 50 right now.
Mm-hmm.
If I had replayed any or played any hard mode ones, that number would be off. So I wouldn't know, like, I have, like, 10 more to do, I just need to start figuring out which ones I don't have to do.
Yeah.
So other than that, everything else is doable. The thing that I tried this and successfully did this morning is I completed the last Dreamer's Door. I don't know if you've run into that stuff yet.
Nope.
So I don't want to say how many there are because there's that's a spoiler, but there are a set number of them in the world where you'll go through like one of the mini dungeons on the overworld, and at the end of them will be a save point and a door. Really early on, you get the key for the door. You go in the door, and it is a procedurally generated dungeon that gets more difficult the more time you spend in there.
Okay.
The last boss of the final door is leveled 95, and every piece of advice on the internet so far has been level up to 95, just fight the final boss over and over again. It's pretty easy once you're high enough level. You just mash square for a couple of... People are saying, like, you just grind on it for 6 hours and you'll be level 95, which sounds the opposite of fun.
Mm-hmm.
Their big feedback was, well, if you don't go in there at 95, he'll just one-shot you and it's just impossible. I beat it this morning at level 75, and it was pretty easy. He is level 95, but, like, by the time you get there, you kind of know what enemy patterns are, so you can dodge out of the way, or you can just sit back and do some ranged attacks for a little bit. The one thing I wish the game had explained earlier is... you have your items on when you're fighting, you have your 3 weapons on the upper left-hand corner of the thing.
And the skills on the right.
Right, and next to your weapons, there's like 100%
Yeah, that's
meter.
It's your zing meter.
Your zing meter, that's what it's called.
Yes.
I
paid attention to the tutorials, Mr. Boston. Clearly you did not.
I did, but I feel like the zing stuff wasn't really well explained at the beginning, or like it didn't matter for long enough. But when you do a skill, when your zing is at 100% for that weapon...
it does an additional effect.
Yeah. What they don't explain is it knocks an enemy down for like a considerable amount of time. So when you have 3 weapons equipped and you can get them all up to 100% within the amount of time that the enemy is down, you can kind of stun lock higher level enemies.
Yeah.
And it's really good, because you probably haven't run into any tainted monsters yet, right?
No.
So they're just high-level, difficult bosses that are on the world map. Some of them are really easy to stun lock, and you can beat them when you're like 20 levels lower than they are.
Okay. That's good.
It's really good. Yeah. So, I've built the kingdom all the way up, and part of the reason why I played so much of this last week is my daughter and I are both fighting something off this week, and she really likes watching this game. The soundtrack is great. The voice acting is really good. a criticism I have of this game is there's a surprisingly little amount of voice acting in this game.
Yeah, there is a whole bunch of hello,
right?
Text box.
Yeah, and like a whole full text box. And Evan, and then just 3 lines. That's sort of disappointing because I feel like the voice actors are really good in this, and we're playing on something like the PS4 or the PC, where we have a considerable amount of storage space. So I'm not entirely sure why there's such a small amount of voice acting. Mina's in chat saying I've had to voice every character. I feel badly for her live streams because there's a lot of stuff she has to voice by herself.
Yeah.
I'm not going to spoil any of the ending stuff. The story gets a little weird right near the ending, but I'm happy how the whole thing resolved itself.
Hold on. A JRPG and the story gets weird at the end of the game.
Not in the way you expect.
See, I'm not so sure about that because you've got Final Fantasy 7 where the guy goes into a coma. You've got 8 where it turns out the bad guy used to be someone who used to go to the same adoption place as you.
And all my memories are gone.
You've got 10 where the giant sky monster is your dad.
Right.
You've got Eternal Sonata where you find out at the end just how badly you're dying.
Yeah. I feel like it plays off some of that stuff really well.
Yeah.
With the bad guy's motivation, which doesn't really make a lot of sense until like after the credits have rolled.
Yeah.
Mina says she has a complaint that text boxes scroll by so quickly. Yes, especially in skirmishes. There's like 3 or 4 text lines that are important to the mission that stay for literally 5 seconds.
Okay, so yeah, you're not, when you're talking about that, you're not talking about the ones that you press A through. You're talking about the ones that show up in the middle of action.
Yep.
And I'm trying to attack somebody, and it's like, oh, you ran into this area that triggers the next set of text.
Yep.
And it pops up, and it's gone just like that. I'm like, I'm sorry, I'm trying to stab someone with my knife on fire here.
Yeah, can you say your words? I really liked the ending. I think the name of the final dungeon is really stupid.
Okay, you're gonna have to say it now.
I cannot. It's genuinely it's genuinely way too much of a spoiler. The thing it reminded me of is Inception. The name of the character that draws the maps. It's sort of like her name, where it's like, that's too on the nose. Like,
I just can't even remember what her name was. You're talking about
Ariane or something, like Adriane or something. It was the one where it's like she's named after the character from mythology that led what's his face out of the maze with the string. It's like, oh, okay, that's pretty on the nose for this movie.
I didn't even make that connection at all.
Yeah. We were talking about the voice acting. The thing that I've seen, the last thing I want to talk about in this, because I don't want to accidentally spoil anything. The last thing, and we were talking about this on the pre-show, where I have sort of been hesitant to read any reviews of this game, but I've read a couple from outlets I like. One of them being US Gamer, that and other places are being really hard on the side quests. So there are 175 in the game, and I've completed 174 of them because I'm not going to run a dungeon again to get the last. Literally one more material to finish the last one. They're easy and they're straightforward. A lot of them are very. I don't want to call them fetch quests, but they really are. It sounds, negative, like escort missions. It's like a 4-letter word at this point. Part of what I like is that they're just really straightforward. I like that every time you finish a mission in the main storyline, it unlocks a whole bunch of new ones for a bunch of people that you can recruit. Sometimes when you recruit people into your kingdom, as they're walking around your kingdom, they will have another 1 or 2 missions to do in there that unlocks additional stuff.
Yeah.
I like that they're straightforward. I like that I can go to somebody and they're like, hey, I really need this thing. I'm going to build you a weapon or a costume or I'm going to improve something in your kingdom. It tells you where to go and it tells you what to do. You get some fun storyline before and after the mission that, one of them that I liked that I think Kotaku pointed out is this woman in one town that really needs you to go get this water from this place to help her make medicine. And you go over to the place where there's a waypoint, you come back and you give it to her, and you find out that she became a doctor because she was sick when she was a kid, and she just wants to help everybody else in this kingdom because she doesn't want anyone to suffer like she did, and then she joins your kingdom. Yeah. That's cool. That's a cool little story that didn't take me 4 hours to do, and I got a nice side story and I got a cool character.
It sounds a lot like the stuff in AC Origins, which is, AC Origins has some incredible side missions which can be broken down to escort missions or fetch quests.
Mm-hmm.
But the fact that they're adding actual story into the side missions is kind of what made Origins so incredible to me.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, now I'm learning about ancient Egypt, and it's really cool, even if I do have to run into this bandit camp and slaughter all of these fools.
Yeah. Yeah, so I feel like when I think of Ni no Kuni, and my recommendation going forward is, it's a nice game. Like, everything in there is nice. The heroes are always going to win. It definitely is a blue sky game, and I feel like instead of looking at the difficulty, overall the game is easy.
Yeah.
Probably a little too easy. But I feel like instead of being harsh on the game or being negative about it being easy, flip it to a positive and say, if your kids want to play their first JRPG, this is a really great game for them.
I'm thinking of T-Bomb Rocks, I'm thinking of Nintendo, I'm thinking of people like that who've got kids who could play this game and use it to develop their sense of gaming.
Or like if you've never played a JRPG before and you want to play something that's more hack and slashy, you can play Ni no Kuni 2, and if you like that style of game, the Tales games are really good because it's like a more difficult evolution of that with a very similar, very active battle system. So
this is the costume quest for that style of game.
Yeah, exactly. So I think Ni no Kuni 2, I really like it, and I'm going for the platinum because I'm just having so much fun playing it. It's just a really solid game. It's really nice. It looks and sounds great. I had a lot of fun with the story. It's just a good game, and I feel like a lot of I don't want to get too deep into it, but I feel like a lot of the people that may be reviewing it negatively or sort of crap talking it, you just need to have fun with it. It doesn't need to be the best game ever. It's really good, and that's good enough.
Yeah.
It doesn't need to be a 10 out of 10, because it's good. You know?
There's nothing wrong with 7s to 9s.
Yeah, this is probably, if I was to review it, it would probably be like an 8 out of 10.
I was literally going to say, so far, it's looking at about an 8 for me.
Yeah. And it's obviously not my favorite JRPG of all time. It's like, this game came in and killed Chrono Trigger.
But I wasn't is that Chrono Trigger?
Yeah, I wasn't, for a lot of people to be like, this game killed Final Fantasy VII. Throw all your old RPGs in the bin, but it doesn't have to be. It's just a good game.
Yeah, you're perfectly okay to enjoy this and still have the things you love in the background.
Yeah. So, go play Ni no Kuni 2. It's really good.
Yeah. Roll out the positivity.
Yeah. And the last game I played is I finally started up on my Switch Golf Story. Speaking of RPGs. Golf Story is weird. It's certainly not bad. So it's a 3-click golf game. And it very much it's sort of top down and it's pixel art. It almost reminds me like an unreleased Game Boy Advance game, which is definitely a positive. I guess I didn't really know how much it was going to lean into being an RPG.
Yeah.
That there's a lot of text in this game. All of it is really written well so far. They do a lot of fun stuff with the actual text boxes itself. When someone's yelling, like the text box will get really big and the text will get really big. If someone's saying something under their breath, the text is really tiny and the text bubble like wobbles a little bit.
I love little touches like that.
Yeah, like it's just fun where there's no voice acting. A lot of that stuff works really, really well. Every time you do something, you get experience. When you level up, you get like 4 or 5 points to put in your 4 or 5 different skills. You know, we've seen a lot of stuff like that, like in the Tiger Woods series. The only thing that has frustrated so far, and I'm still not sure if it's in game, is there doesn't seem to be a map. I keep meaning to Google this, but every time I'm playing it, I don't want to stop laying around being a lump and grab my phone.
Yep.
So a lot of times it's like, you need to go over to the clubhouse and go do this thing. It's like, cool, that's where is that? Where I don't know what this course is. I'm sure, playing around a little bit and exploring, the first course, I just got the second course unlocked too. We'll probably alleviate that just by playing the game. But so far it feels really good to golf in it, which
yeah,
I was a little worried that was going to be secondary to leveling up and all this story and world building, but they do a really great job of telling you, where your ball lies, how much wind there is when you're putting. It doesn't do, the 3D game where there's a grid and the lines sharply go down this way. It's a lot simpler where it says, look, it's sort of leaning to the left, so you want to putt to the right a little bit. And I kind of dig after literally just playing a lot of everybody's golf. It's kind of nice to play something that's really similar, but it's not simplified. Simple. But it's a little bit easier to play.
Yeah. So,
another negative too is everything you do in that game makes the Switch rumble.
Oh wow!
From like advancing text boxes.
Wait, hold on. When you said everything, you meant everything.
I meant everything. So I had to turn the rumble off. It makes sense when you like hit the ball with your club. That makes sense. Or, you get hit by something. But, like, part of the interesting thing is you can just explore, you can just free roam around the whole golf course. So, like, if you just want to plop a ball down and hit something, you can do that. When you fire up the game really early on, they teach you can just plop the ball anywhere and just shoot the ball. There's, like, a switch hidden behind a wall really early on that they just show you, like, just throw the ball down and hit the switch, and it will, it's like 1 out of 5 switches you can hit that'll unlock something later. But that's a cool idea, but I don't need you to rumble for everything. That's killing my Switch battery, and the battery is already not great, so turn that bad boy off. But so far it seems really good. I know a lot of people were really enjoying Golf Story last year. I saw it hit a couple of top 10 lists, but
I saw that, but I also saw a lot of people talking about how by the time the game ended, they were hitting golf fatigue, where it was just like, this game's like however many hours it is long, and it could have been doing with like 8 shorter.
Yeah, and that's part of the reason why I don't want to go super deep into it. I'd rather sort of play a little bit, play an hour or so here or there, because I do have that tendency with golf games. It's like, I do love golf. Let's play 40 hours this week. That's not going to help me at all. And that's what's great with it being a downloadable game is I can play like Super Mario Odyssey for a little bit, and then I can play this, and then toss my Switch back on the dock, and we're good.
It's kind of the great thing about having all my games on Xbox One be digital, or most of them at least. It's just like, I'm in the mood for this. No, I'm not. I'm in the mood for this. No, I'm not. I'm in the mood for this. No, I'm not.
I am in the mood for Burnout Paradise. All right.
Always.
Yeah. But that's all the games I'm playing this week, so let's take a break. Let's talk releases for the week of April 2nd, 2018. Nothing.
Thank goodness.
You can take a breather this week.
It's about time.
Yeah. So let's move on to our news stories.
January.
Let's move on to our news stories. Revisiting a news story that we've been talking for probably half of this show's life cycle.
Yeah.
Lindsay Lohan's lawsuit against Grand Theft Auto 5 was shot down by New York State's highest court. This is really interesting. A lot of people misunderstand. What was that?
I'm trying to figure out if the people dying I'm hearing is coming from my end or your end.
It's my end. My daughter wants to be chased around.
Oh, okay.
So monster noises occur. A lot of people think that she's suing because of the character on the cover art.
Nope, it's specifically the character in the missions where you have to chase him around as paparazzi, essentially.
Yeah, well, it's actually the opposite. You're saving the character Lacey Jonas. You help her escape the paparazzi.
Okay.
Part of the funny / sad part of this story is that mission is making fun of young Hollywood. Mm-hmm. And then
young Hollywood sues.
Right. Like, I'm glad that, she actually, they have it on here, 2014 is when she started this lawsuit, so 4 whole years ago. I'm glad it dropped because that probably would have set a bad precedent for video games trying to be satire if that had passed. Just sort of saying, like, look, they didn't call her, Lindsay Lohan. Like, it's clearly a young Hollywood starlet.
Yeah.
Settle down. It's not that bad. So I'm glad to see it was dropped. I get why you would sue, but
I don't. But I'm from England where, like, the suing culture just does not exist.
Yeah. Well, and I think I get why you would sue because that mission is not super flattering. And if you think it's about you, then that you're probably going to see it pretty negatively, but it's about Hollywood. It's not specifically about you. No one's joking about you starring in Herbie the Love Bug. Like, it's not that specific. It's like not any of that.
Moving on.
Yes. Next news story, Red Faction Guerilla is getting a remaster or a Re-MARS-Tered edition.
Yep.
Which
what a great...
is a great /boo title.
Yeah.
With a name like that, unsurprisingly coming from THQ Nordic.
Yep.
With the Definitive edition also coming from them.
That was a good one as well.
Is it going to come out by the end of June? Around there. I'm curious to see if this still holds up because I haven't played it since it came out.
Me either, and I'm kind of really torn on this because at the same time I really want a new Red Faction game, specifically on the Guerilla style, not on the whatever the...
Yeah, the other one was not good.
I want that kind of game, but I've got so many remasters and so many HD upvotes and so many all this other stuff. I don't know if I want to spend another X amount of dollars on another one of them.
Yeah.
Until I start seeing stuff pay off in that regard. So,
yeah.
I might wait until the new Darksiders game comes out because I supported that by buying the remaster of the other two.
Yeah, me too.
I kind of want them to drop Need for Speed and make another Burnout, so I supported the new Burnout Paradise.
Right. Well, and I think the thing with Guerilla is I feel like if you had a 360 when Red Faction Guerilla came out, you probably bought it and played 100% of that game because it was really good.
Mm-hmm.
But was it really good for the time, or would busting down buildings with the hammer still be that much fun?
I'm hoping it's still that much fun. This is on my list of things which I'm interested in, but I cannot prioritize towards money-wise.
Yeah. Well, especially if you haven't played it before, I feel like it would be a lot like Burnout Paradise Remastered, where it's like, if you haven't played it before, it's probably a great price, and as long as it runs smooth, it's probably going to be a lot of fun.
Yep.
But there's not going to be anything new in it, so I don't know.
My big question is when THQ Nordic bought up all of this stuff, was Guerrilla one of the original ones they bought, or was it ones they bought on the second bite? And do they have the engine?
Yeah, that's a good question.
If they don't have the engine, I ain't interested in this one because there's no guarantee they're going to use that engine going forwards.
Yeah, that's true. I feel like if you're going to remaster this, you at least need to own. You have to have something.
Yeah, but they might have. It might be a case of they've got the IP and the rights to them, but some other company now has that engine, and they're just paying a licensing fee for the remastered version.
What engine was this made on? Geomod 2.
Yep.
Yikes. Well, sort of a crapshoot whether or not they still own that engine.
Yep.
I was hoping it was going to be like Unreal Engine 3, and it's just like, all right, well, maybe you can, with a little bit of work, maybe you can sort of forward port it to UE4, but maybe not.
Get together with DICE and then have like a GeoMod 3 that works in the Frostbite engine.
Yeah, just have it like be a mod.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about our next news story. New games. Dragon Quest XI is coming to the West in September. Shockingly announced for the West because 10, which was an MMO, did not come over here. Unsurprisingly, and it seems like it never will. But Dragon Quest XI Echoes of an Elusive Age is coming to PC via Steam and PS4 on September 4th. The 3DS version is not coming out over here, which is sort of surprising and unsurprising at the same time, because number one, why would they? But number two, why wouldn't they? So it has a huge built-in market base. And I thought, well, maybe the Switch version will come out here, and they say, well, the Switch version will be coming out much later. That is the direct quote.
But this just reminds me of that game that got kickstarted, and then it was put on like the Wii U, but they had a Wii version in there as well. And then the developer of the game just put a little note in it saying, please play the Wii version, not the Wii U version.
Oh, yeah, what game was that?
I can't even remember.
Yeah, I don't remember. But man, if you guys like Ni no Kuni 2, let me tell you about some hot Dragon Quest games.
I've never played a Dragon Quest game in my life.
If you want to play a game where you know who the bad guy is and you know who the good guys are, and you're looking for just the good guys to win, that's a Dragon Quest game. It is a really straightforward, mechanically solid, like turn-based, great JRPG. And apparently Dragon Quest XI is outstanding.
Okay. It kind of, to be honest, from that description, it just reminds me of Kingdom Hearts, where it's like, maybe the bad guy is the one in the black cloak with the evil laugh.
The ones of a group named Organization 13. It's like, they can't be good.
That's the worst thing, is they became the good guys. Or at least some of them did.
Stupid Kingdom Hearts being all confusing and good.
Yep.
But yeah, I'm excited for Dragon Quest XI. I had, for some reason, totally missed that they were making Dragon Quest XI, but I really like Dragon Quest games, so I'm hoping this is good. We'll find out in September, because I will have to play it now.
Well, yeah, it's you.
Yeah. I love JRPGs, man.
Shocker, shocker. Headlines for tomorrow's newspaper. Boston pre-orders a JRPG.
Yeah, I know. I gotta put my money where my mouth is. I need Dragon Quest to succeed in the West. because it's they haven't been. 8 and 8. Actually, Dragon Quest 8 was made by Level 5, Ni no Kuni 2 developers.
Didn't builders do okay over here?
Yeah, I feel like it's started to do a little bit better now that it's on sale, and people are saying, like, hey, the Switch version's really great, and I think people have been picking up on that, but, you know, it's a little bit different from the standard turn-based RPG, so we still need those. It's after whatever, Final Fantasy is doing these days.
Yeah, I don't even know anymore.
I don't even. Fishing, mostly. All right, next news story. It's going to lay this out. No Man's Sky is coming to Xbox One this summer.
Shocker. I saw this pop up on my Twitter feed and I was like, well, I know the exclusivities run out. Maybe I'll actually play this now.
Yeah, I think we were talking about this a little bit on Discord, and I feel like No Man's Sky is now a good game after a set of huge patches, and there's another big patch. I think they're codenaming it Next. That's going to be coming out about or at the same time it's coming out on Xbox One. I feel like No Man's Sky is one of those games. We were talking recently about Sea of Thieves as well. I hope this doesn't affect Sea of Thieves, but No Man's Sky is never going to get out from under its launch controversy. It's a solid game now. It has a great tutorial. It has a really cool... I played it a while ago, but not enough to really talk about it on the show. Has a really cool single-player story now. There's base building. There's a lot of really cool stuff in there now. But people don't care because it wasn't a great game at launch. Which, yeah, it was not a great game at launch. I had a lot of fun with it, and then stopped playing because I sort of ran out of things I cared about. Mm-hmm. I feel like when it comes out on Xbox One... and it'll be enhanced for X, which means it will probably look really good.
Yes. Maybe now I'll get the actual trailer.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like this is kind of a game to check out now.
Oh yeah, I was aware of the drama around the release. I was kind of disappointed to see the drama around the release because I was hoping it would be a really good game, even though I don't have the platform to play it on. But it was one of those games. It was like, oh, I'll get a PS4 for these 5 games. Yeah. And that game went from being top of the list to off the list.
Just scratch it off.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And I've heard about the updates. I've heard it keeps getting better. And now it's coming over. It probably might end up being one of those things I pick up.
Yeah, it would be really nice to see them launch it at $40, though. I'm a little worried that they're going to launch it at $60, and that might be a little too much to ask. I feel like that would turn off people that want to try it. It wouldn't be unfair to charge it at $60. Yeah. But at $40, I feel like that could be a lot easier for someone to say, like, okay, I keep hearing stuff about No Man's Sky, like I can try it for $40.
Yeah, it's the reason why I have never purchased The Witness is because I ain't gonna pay the same amount for a game that was released 2.5 years ago on the other console.
Yeah.
I'm not going to give you your $40.
Right.
Because it's now available on my console. I think instead I'll just wait until it's on sale. And hey, would you look at that? It's on sale.
Let's talk about our next news story and last one here. Xbox's April 2018 Games with Gold, The Witness, is free for the entire month.
The best sale.
The Witness is really great. That was my game of the year that year, maybe?
It was,
2016? Yeah. Both my wife and I played through it, and it is a really great game to play with someone else and figure out puzzles together.
It's a really great game for me to play to make my wife look away from my screen.
Perfect. That's a solid game. I feel like if anyone has looked at that game and has been interested, go check it out. It's not just draw a line from point A to point B.
It is not what you think it is. Unfortunately, I have a thing spoiled about this game. If you have avoided these spoilers, it will be an interesting experience.
Yeah. And to be clear, all of the puzzles are draw a line from A to B, but the rules around them change from section to section.
Mm-hmm.
It's so good. And then the second half of the month, actually April 16th to April 15th, is Assassin's Creed Syndicate for free. the last of the traditional Assassin's Creed games before Origin. I liked it a lot. Moonpeer didn't like it as much, but it's still a good Assassin's Creed game.
That it is.
And if you want to play a good Assassin's Creed game, you can play that.
Yep.
And then Cars 2 and Dead Space 2 are available on backwards compatibility. Dead Space 2 is probably still really good.
Yeah. It's a perfect game in my opinion.
Yeah. It's both 1 and 2 are really, really, really great games.
Yeah, I should correct that. It's not a perfect game. It's as close to perfect as a game has come.
It's a 10 out of 10.
Yep. That and Dead Space 1 are both 10 out of 10s for me.
Yeah. And then Dead Space 3 I didn't finish, so that probably tells you everything you need to know.
Yep. And then they closed that studio down.
Yeah. Sorry. All right, well, let's move on to questions here. We got 5 hot questions here for us. Ivan P. hits us up on email. Says, hey guys, Ivan from the Bronx here. What's up, Bronx? Wanted to ask you if you could bring back one dead developer to do one new game. Who would it be and why?
Criterion, a new Burnout Paradise game.
Yeah, man.
We need a good arcade racing game. There is not Need for Speed. It's not The Club. It's not The Crew. Don't get me wrong. Respect to The Crew. The Crew is a pretty good game. It ain't no Burnout.
Yeah.
Give me Criterion, give me that set of devs, and give me a brand new Burnout Paradise, or not even Paradise, but a brand new Burnout game. If you want to take it linear and just do it like 2 or 3 or Takedown, absolutely fine as well, because those games are fantastic too.
Yeah.
Get those licenses in, and then put your feet in and say, if you want to be in our game, we are going to trash your cars, and you are going to be happy about it.
Yep.
Oh, I missed that.
God, I'm not sure who I would pick, actually. My knee-jerk reaction is to be like, well, let's get Harmonix back together and make a new rock band, but no one wants that.
That doesn't work anymore, yeah.
I feel like what I really want to see is like not a big budget, but like a medium budget size strategy RPG, like a Final Fantasy Tactics, a Tactics Ogre sort of game for consoles. But I don't know who I would bring back to do that. Maybe have Matsuno come back and do it like Tactics.
Yeah, that's kind of a good call. I mean, that's the problem, is like, there's stuff like Into the Breach, which is a really good example of how you can make a really good strategy RPG.
And like modernize it a little bit.
Modernize it a little bit, and why is that not on consoles?
Yeah.
I know why. It's because it's the FTL guys, and they don't have I don't think they've got the studio to do it on consoles.
Sure. There's so many porting houses nowadays, like Risk of Rain on console wasn't done by them. It was done by, a porting house. So, when you look at FTL, you say, that's not going to work on console. There's just too much stuff there. You look into the Breach and you say, hey, that could work on console. There's a way to do that.
There is enough buttons on a console controller to do everything you need them to do in that game.
Yeah.
My final answer, by the way, for this, because Burnout is the easy answer, the evergreen will forever live in our hearts as the greatest first-person shooter of all time. Give me Zipper and give me a mag on this generation of consoles.
Well, someone reminded me on Twitter that, whoever the guy is that came up with mag is not dead, but he's probably rolling in his grave right now, seeing these battle royale games being popular, because it's like, I did this like 10 years ago and you guys hated it.
And it was 256 people.
Yeah, like it's 128 versus 128, and you guys are going bonkers for, 100 people jumping out of a sky bus.
Mm-hmm. I
feel badly for that team.
Yeah.
It's 10 years too early.
Zipper kind of got boned on that anyway, because that was the exact same... That, if my memory serves, no, I might be wrong here, but if my memory serves, Mag came out the exact same day as a SOCOM game, which was an online-only game. Mm-hmm. And they both got released on a day when the PSN network got hacked and had to go down for like 4 days.
Yeah, if I remember correctly, that's true. I was going to look it up here. PS3 video game. Yeah, I remember correctly, that was very much the problem.
I think it was one of those situations where it was like, oh hey, if it can go wrong, it is going wrong, and it's going wrong right now.
Yep. Well, and like, it's also the problem too, where of course I searched for that and it's just showing gun ejection problems. I think the other problem too is they named it MAG, which originally stood for like massive action game.
Oh, you saying it.
But really quickly, they were like, hey guys, don't call it that because that's dumb. And everyone's like, yeah, it's dumb. Remember when it was called that? And you're just like, please don't, it's killing our game.
I think they should have just leaned into it.
Yeah.
You know what? Yeah, we called it MAG. Yeah, MAG is dumb. Guess what? It's exactly what it says on the tin.
Yep. It is. You put 255 other people in here. It's a pretty massive action game.
And I'm sorry, but what's Battlegrounds all about? Is that all about a battleground?
Right. It's pretty straightforward.
You know, more and more games are doing this, where it's just like, hey, Call of Duty World War II. Shocker.
Right. Well,
what's
like,
that game about?
You know, Battlegrounds, the full name is PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds.
Which
most
is the
people
name
don't
of the
even
developer?
Most people don't even know who PlayerUnknown is. They just call it PUBG and they don't care.
I did not know he was Irish until he was on the Bombcast E3 stuff.
Yeah. Ah, man. All right, next question is from Servo. Of the previously released video game adaptations, which ones would you like to see rebooted? I was going to say Mario, but the Illumination Studios, the ones who made the Minions movies and the Despicable Me, are making a Mario movie.
We're talking about movies, aren't we?
Yeah, so like that's a pretty perfect match. So
I haven't seen the new Lara Croft, but or the new Tomb Raider, I should say. But
you played the first game, so
yeah,
you're okay.
Jess said it's pretty good. She liked it. Honestly, I'm not sure. I kind of want to see another Street Fighter movie because the live-action Street Fighter movie was just so dumb and so great at the same time.
Unlike the DOA movie that was dumb and pretty bad.
Yeah.
That was a bad movie.
A Tekken movie. No. Okay, I'm sorry. Mortal Kombat. Give me a Mortal Kombat, but I don't want none of this good stuff with your YouTube show that's really, really cool. I want Mortal Kombat Annihilation. The second Mortal Kombat movie.
I want you to like
so bad.
Not have live action people, and I want you to have CG, but like not top of the end CG, just one step below that. Like it's not great, but it's pretty good.
Give me like stuff. I love bad stuff. That's my problem. Is like I will unabashedly say the Street Fighter movie is an incredible movie because it's terrible at the same time. Same with Annihilation.
Yep.
I'm sorry, but the line for you, it was Tuesday, will forever stick in my head as one of the greatest lines ever delivered in movie history.
Oh, man.
Oh, Raul Julia, you were such a treasure.
I'm trying to think of any other movies that really came out that... I feel like Mortal Kombat would be really good. That just, like, lean really hard into it. Like, make a 90-minute movie and put everybody in there.
Oh, yeah.
Every 2 minutes, another person's popping out.
Yeah, I was just about to say 60 seconds of screen time each.
Hey, look, it's Noob Saibot. Hey, guys.
They can put it in cars and call it Mortal Kombat Gone in 60 seconds.
Oh, that'd be good.
But, oh, man, I mean, I don't know. There's so many video game movies is the problem. Like, I mean, there's a Far Cry movie that I've never seen because it's UA Bowl. There's a Postal movie that I've never seen because, if I'm right, that's also UA Bowl.
It is. Spoiler alert, they're not good.
Shocker.
Yeah.
I don't know. Part of me wants to see video games based on movies, like, because it's in my head so much right now. Starship Troopers 2, give me a video game that's awesome about that world.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm trying to see if there was that Doom movie. I totally forgot about that.
The worst thing is that had so much potential.
Yeah.
It's got The Rock before he became a good actor, and it's got Carl Urban before he became a good actor.
And it has a first-person shooter sequence in it. Mm-hmm. The Resident Evil movies are ones I surprisingly forgot about. Those were good.
I like them, though.
Yeah.
I like them a lot. They've I think they've succeeded where most other game movies have failed. Like, the first one was close enough to the game to where it made sense.
Mm-hmm.
The second one was close enough to the game where it was okay. And then on the third one, like, okay, we've done our due diligence. You've got what you wanted.
Let's
now
go
we're
crazy.
just gonna go crazy.
Yeah. I actually think, now that I'm looking at this list, I will cast my vote for Max Payne.
I've never seen the Wahlberg version, but that would be good.
I haven't either, but I bet if you make like a really gritty, like, Netflix mini-series out of it...
Oh, yeah, like The Punisher.
Yeah, that could be really good.
Yeah, because Netflix doesn't care about ratings as well, so they could just go hard R with the whole thing.
Yep. That could be really cool.
Yeah. Hey, Netflix, we're available for consulting.
Yeah, I don't work for cheap. You have money. All right, let's move on to our next question here from Death2K on Discord. How difficult is it to play multiple games at once? Do you have rules or just wing it? My fear will be losing interest in a game and never going back to finish it. Hey, guess what the problem is?
Yep. Welcome to my personal nightmare.
Yeah.
I do this to myself for you. I hope you all appreciate that.
Yeah.
We actually talked about this a little bit on the pre-show.
Mm-hmm.
So for those who are not Patreons, either watch the video or listen to your Outcast episode and you'll get the full rundown. But it bothers me, and
yeah.
this is some weird behind the scenes stuff. I have received criticism before for playing quote unquote achievement games and being that person who only plays that. Go back and listen to other episodes, folks. You'd be surprised at how much the variety of games I play actually, like, consistently changes every single week.
Mm-hmm.
There are days when I want nothing more than to come home and put 6 hours into Monster Hunter. But when it's Tuesday and I've done that, I'm thinking to myself at the end of that day, 6 hours in Monster Hunter does not a good podcast make.
No.
So, well, unless we're doing The Carve, but that's not our podcast, that's somebody else's podcast.
Yeah.
So, they're fine. Whereas, it's the whole achievement hunter thing as well for me is like I kind of have a little bit of OCD about that too. So it bothers me not being able to 100% a game. And sometimes that's not because I don't have the time or because the achievements are too hard. Sometimes it's just because I think to myself, I'll get back to it eventually. 6 years later, I still haven't got back to it eventually.
Yeah.
Because I'm too busy trying to make sure. And this is not me complaining, like, let's just clear that up right now. I ain't complaining about the show. I ain't complaining about the fans, minus the few people who have said basically I'm the achievement guy and that's all I play.
Right.
Do your research before you start throwing that kind of
Don't throw shade at me.
Yeah. Otherwise I'll throw my gamer score back at you. But like, it's one of those things. It's like, we all know, like, we feel guilty, like, we're both married. Boston has a kid. I have a 40 to 100 hour a week job, depending on
right.
what the week is.
Roll the dice.
Yeah, exactly. Like, hey folks, here's some good news. I'm in work next Saturday and the Saturday after, so I'm doing 2 6-day weeks. That's gonna suck. That's gonna mean I'm playing smaller, shorter experiences because I feel the need to make progress in stuff I've already talked about or start new things because we want the show to be interesting. We want to...
Yep. We want content.
We want you guys to be able to tune in and listen and not think, oh, well, there goes Boston spending 2 hours talking about Ni no Kuni again, and there goes Moon talking about Monster Hunter for the 8th week on a row, or let's listen to the adventures of Nimp and Moon in Elite Dangerous again, which I wish I could do that every week.
Yeah.
But this is kind of the whole reason why at the same time we don't talk about Isaac on the show. We have a separate show for that.
Yep.
Because otherwise...
Even half an hour somewhere else.
Exactly. So that way, if you know you're interested in it, it's there for you. If you're not, then you don't have to listen to me destroy my desk.
Well, and that's part of the reason why I played so much Ni no Kuni this week, is I really try to stick to one game like that at a time because I really do want to finish them. Like, I could try to play that and Lego Marvel Super Heroes 2 at the same time, but then I wouldn't make much progress in either one of them, and I'd get frustrated, so like one of them would win out either way in the end, and I'd rather sit down and focus on Ni no Kuni 2 and just kind of either, if I didn't want to go for the platinum, just finish the main story and however much I wanted to, and then be done with it and say, all right, well, that goes back on the shelf, and if any DLC comes out, I probably don't care because I've had, the complete experience already. A lot like Assassin's Creed Origins. I heard the DLC in that is really great. I probably won't play it just because I've moved on.
Yeah, I might eventually, but that's something for me. I've never been a DLC person.
Yeah,
I've never been a microtransaction person either. So it's doing the show does change the way we play things. There's no two ways about it. We do that. I went out and bought Burnout Paradise Day 1, number 1, because I was interested in it, but also number 2 because I wanted to be able to talk about it on the show. It's, again, part of the whole thing is it bothers me a little bit right now that neither of us have played Far Cry 5.
Yeah.
And that's a mixture of time constraints, that's a mixture of financial constraints, it's also a mixture of all of that, and then where do we fit it in during the day? I will probably be able to play it before Boston would because kids.
Right.
Literally, you wouldn't be able to play it unless...
If I want to play it on mute, I could probably play it, but that's about it.
Yeah. Whereas I would be able to play it, but at the same time, at the minute, I just dropped $400 on a dryer. I'm saving for car payments. I'm saving for
real life stuff.
Yeah. Correction, I didn't drop $400 on a dryer. My mother-in-law dropped $400 on a dryer, but real life stuff takes precedence over this kind of thing. And yeah, it sucks. I'll get to Far Cry when I get to it. It sucks that we can't talk about it this week, but that's one of the reasons why I like the whole PC thing I'm doing, something we talked about in the show as well, is trying to go through those games, is because there's nothing wrong with coming back to a game 10 years, 15 years after it's been released and saying, oh, is this actually any good? And
right.
Giving it a go.
Right.
I give you Isaac.
Yeah. Next question here from T-Bomb Rocks in Discord. What was the last game you started watching the game trailer and didn't even need to finish before you thought, yep, buying this one?
A Way Out.
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah.
I started watching that trailer, and as soon as they did the whole camera thing where they split it sideways, I was like, me and Jess are going to play that.
Yeah, that was my first 100%. Thought too. It's I need to get that. I don't know. I feel like we've gotten so many sequels and stuff lately that I know whether or not I'm going to play them. Like we were talking about Far Cry 5 and pretty much any Ubisoft game, I'll say, yeah, I'm probably going to play that. Just knowing that Ubisoft has announced another game.
I haven't even seen the trailer for The Division 2. I've just seen the logo. Guess what? I'm in.
Yeah, I'm trying to think, because...
What's the BioWare one with all the high pressure going on?
Oh, Anthem?
The second I saw that trailer start, I was like, yeah, I'm in.
Yeah.
I'll take it.
Yeah, I feel like so much... Oh, here's one. Donut Country. That indie game that's going to be coming out on PS4 and maybe PC as well. It's the one where you control the hole and... Oh,
okay, yeah.
Yeah. When I saw that trailer about halfway through, I'm like, okay, I'm going to get this. It looks like Reverse Katamari. Can I pre-order it now? That looks really good.
Yeah, Jimbo Jangles has got the best shout-out in the chat ever.
He nails it. It's a sadly dead island. Sad face.
Yep.
Yeah, man, that first trailer was like, okay, yep, I see what you're doing. Let's play. Oh, it's bad. Oh, boy. I know a lot of people like that game, but...
I do.
I don't. Did not like that at all. T-Bomb Rocks also asks, what's your favorite video game trope you hope never goes away? I actually have one because I was thinking about it when we were talking about Xenoblade Chronicles 2 on PUP and Ni no Kuni 2 here on the show is... with the power of friendship sort of blue sky sort of game. They don't do that in Ni no Kuni 2. But it's relentlessly optimistic. I really hope that never goes away because that's not the majority of games.
No, it's not.
Majority of games is I'm a killer with a dark past and I love kittens. It's sure, but Kratos going to be petting a kitten in the new God of War? Like, I don't know. Is that his redeeming quality?
He probably is.
Probably.
For me, it's the first thing that jumped into my head when I heard that question was two things, but they're both achievement related. It's different ways to play, so you can use achievements as a basis for or challenges or in-game quests or like little hidden stuff. Like with achievements, it's different ways to play.
Yeah.
So like having something stupid where it's like, oh, you know, do X and get this achievement, but it's a completely different way of playing.
We were talking last week, like, what was that chair game? The Metroidvania with a 13%?
Yes,
Shadow Complex. Yeah, where we were like, I didn't even know I could do. Okay, cool. Yeah, let's do another playthrough and let's try and do that. Okay.
Yeah,
that
stuff like that.
Yeah.
That's the type of thing I love. Like, be it, like I said, be it in-game challenges or achievements or stuff like that. And I hate it. It ties back into how much I love bad movies and bad games and bad everything, because I generally like to look on the positive side. Give me bad jokes and puns in achievements.
Yes.
All the time.
I will love those. You will love Ni no Kuni too, because the amount of puns that exist in weapon and item names, plentiful.
And I love, like, especially when it's an achievement and you don't know you're going for it and you get it and it pops up and you're like, oh, this is an achievement, what did I do to get that? And then you read the description, you realize what you've just done, and you burst out laughing. That moment is so great to me, where it's just like, that's so dumb, but kind of really cool as well that they've put that in there. T-Bomb
Rocks in chat has a really great one. Trash can food for health. It's like you beat up a trash can and an edible food, an edible chicken pops out.
Trash can / wall turkey.
Yeah, that's a really good one. And last but not least, Maximus Prime in Discord says, there are so many platforms, genres, styles, and tiers of video games that's overwhelming. But there are certain things that are shared amongst them all, which brings me to my question. What's your favorite environments in video games? Indoor, outdoor, confined and tight, open sprawling, urban, rural, space, ocean? Look forward to your answers. I don't think you've ever been asked this. I don't think we have. This is a good question.
Nope. I think we haven't been asked it. I have two answers. Straight away, I can give you two. Number one, ocean, underwater stuff.
Yep.
Huge. I'm a huge fan of it because it terrifies the hell out of me.
And it's beautiful at the same time.
Yeah, it's that damn nature you scary moment of seeing something underwater. Like, BioShock does a good job when you're looking out of the bathysphere stuff, of like the landscapes and the darkness.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. It doesn't matter to me if you're indoors or outdoors. Abzu is a good example of this as well.
Yeah.
Abzu is incredibly beautiful and then incredibly scary at the same time.
Man, that's a great game.
My other answer to this is space. Give me a good space skybox, and I can screenshot it all day long and then have it as like backgrounds and posters.
Space and ocean are beautiful and terrifying for the same reasons.
Yeah, because we don't know what's there.
Yeah, and they're huge.
Yeah, I mean, greatest start to any video game ever, in my personal opinion, is Mass Effect 2. Yeah. When the Normandy gets blown up and you have to walk through the Normandy as it's been ruptured to space, and it has that space skybox above you, and it's the planet and the debris from the ship getting blown up.
And it's silent.
Exactly. That moment is one of my favorite moments in video games ever because of the environment it's in. That
so
skybox,
good.
that look is just, that's heaven to me.
Yeah.
It's kind of one of the reasons why I love Halo games. They do in killer space skyboxes.
Yep. Boy, those are good picks.
I stole the good ones.
I do kind of like when more non-realistic games set themselves in cities, because I like to see what cities they make. It's not just like, here's Manhattan, plop. That's cool, but what if you didn't have those restraints? Like, what would you...
This is inspired by Ni no Kuni, isn't it?
Well, partially, because I liked seeing... I did like seeing Ding Dong Dell in the first game versus the second one, because it's very much the same city, but it's expanded and looks a little different. But, like, what kind of cool stuff can you make if you take some of those real world restrictions away. You know, like what's your cool fantasy city gonna look like?
What's your Inception moment? Where are these bridges leading to? That
right.
Thing.
Well, it's a little bit less like. I had a game that I was thinking of, and I totally. It's a little bit less like low fantasy, like Skyrim, where it's like those are like, here's our huts.
Guess what? There's a big castle and a bunch of little huts around it.
Yeah, like what's your cartoony sort of high fantasy gonna look like? This town is upside down. That's crazy. This town has an eternal night. That's awesome. You know, like show me some cool stuff.
Yeah, that's actually a really good call.
Yeah.
One exception to that is the Sonic 2006,
the bad
2009? The bad one where Sonic kisses a real life lady.
Yes.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
That has a made up city in it. It's bad.
It's so bad. Yikes. All right, well, that's our question for this week. Thank you very much, everyone, for writing in. If you'd like to visit us, you can do so at tvgp.tv. All of the links, including all the ways to contact us, on the right-hand side of the page. Don't forget to join our Discord server. The link is over there as well. It's always hopping, always talking about cool stuff. Someone actually just posted a link to a sale on Steam for Doom and a Steam Link for $15. So if you're listening right now, go scoop that up. That's a good sale. And Patreon. Patreon.com/E1M1. Go join, especially the $5 tier. That's where all the great stuff is. If you'd like to be a patron for more, that would be great too. Patreon.com/E1M1. This month's Game Club game that I really need to get back to is the Swapper.
I need to start that.
Yeah. It's been a long month, weekends wise, so we still have a little bit of time, but I need to get back on that. And watch us live, Twitch, YouTube, Mixer, Smashcast, I think it's still called. All those places. Go subscribe to us. It will let you know when we go live. Thank you very much, everyone, for listening and watching. We'll see you all next week.
Bye-bye.
Oh, my voice is going out. Yeah, it really is. All right, how about titles from you?
Okay, we're too old for that. It's really nice. That was just you talking about Nino Kuni.
It's really nice.
Roll out the positivity. I meant everything. Monster noises happen, because I think that's a great moment.
Yeah.
Because no joke, that actually legit came through. I was thinking, who is getting murdered?
Yeah.
Boston pre-orders a JRPG. And I'm a killer and I like kittens. Chat, throw the suggestions out.
I'm a killer and I like kittens. That's a leader for this week's episode. I have these games do evolve. I just like how you said that for Fatal Fury.
Fighting games, yeah.
Now 297. RT if you hate this junction.
That's a really good one, to be honest.
It ain't no Burnout. And Mortal Kombat gone in 60 seconds. And then the four of yours that I wrote down is We're Too Old for That, Roll Out the Positivity, which I like, Monster Noises Happen, and I'm a Killer and I Like Kittens, which I really like.
Yeah, I kind of like, I'm torn between Monster Noises Happen, I'm a Killer and I Like Kittens, and retweet if you hate this junction, because that's really good.
Yeah, I like RT if you hate this junction. I'd be okay with that one.
So yeah, you're gonna have to bleep me out at the end.
That's alright, I already wrote it down.
Thank you.
Yeah, I could go with that one if you like.
Which one?
RT if you hate this junction.
Yeah.
Alright.
Sounds good.
I like it. I'm a killer and I like kittens. Strong number 2.
It's really up there though. That's
any other week would have been yours. Alright, let's start in 3, 2, 1. This is That Video Game Podcast, episode 545 for April 2nd, 2018. RT, if you hate this junction.
You'll know it when you see it.
Alright, thank you so much, everyone, for watching. Happy to see a whole bunch of new peeps hanging out with us here and chatting with us. Hope to see you next week. Same time, same channel. Bye.
Bye-bye.
And we can stop recording.